frustrated that I can't do it, and then I get mad that every time I try to do it, I get injured. So it's just a bad cycle.
Yeah, it sounds like something that just keeps on going around in circles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so it sounds, we've talked a lot about you and what, you know, you mentioned what your physical activity used to be in the past. Saying that it was a 12 and we were using a scale of 1 to 10. Like overly beyond, just constantly going, to kind of minimal 1 right now. So, what are some goals you want to achieve in regards to, I guess since yoga seems to be one of the things that you've stressed and kind of talked about the most, but what kind of fitness goals do you have for yoga that you want to achieve, or just anything else? I know you also mentioned that you meet with a trainer too.
Right. Well, I want decreased stress for sure. Increased self-awareness and mindfulness.
Mm-hmm.
I want to feel like I can trust my body.
Okay.
And I think yoga would help me achieve that. I want to be kinder to it because it did get 20 odd years of pounding. I want to feel, like I'm not going to hurt it all the time, more limber. I want to feel strong and athletic. I just want to feel active and athletic again.
Okay.
And in shape, fit.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
This sound like some really great goals. I noticed that you mentioned a lot of. It sounds like giving back to your body, because your body had taken on all this hard pounding for 20-some years. And it's the way it is now is kind of getting back in tune with your body and getting your body to where you ideally want it to be. And
right.
You mentioned being limber and talking about mindfulness and so. You used a couple kind of in keywords of just kind of being an athlete, kind of, and so what does that mean to you? What does being an athlete? What is?
Well, I'm never really gonna be an athlete again, but I just want to feel athletic. I want to feel like I can play. Go out and, like, if I wanted to play tennis again, I wouldn't have to worry so much. Like, I can't play tennis right now because I'm like, I freak out that I'm going to pull something, because every time I try to go play tennis, I do. So I just want to be able to just jump and run and skip and without fear of being injured for 2 weeks afterwards.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So it seems that it really comes down to this being in this mind, being both mentally and physically to this point where you can go and do those kind of activities that you described. You can run, you can skip, you can jump, you can
right.
Do whatever you want without having that constant worry that like you mentioned, you step on the tennis court and you pull something, you get hurt.
Right.
And not having to have that worry.
Right.
Okay. Okay, good. So I kind of, just, want to just go back and review some of your previous exercise experience. You mentioned that you were a competitive tennis player. And what age did that start?
8.
Were there anything, like, activity-wise that you kind of enjoyed doing as a child before that? Or is there anything throughout your tennis career that you really enjoyed?
Oh, I mean, I love plyometrics and medicine ball stuff and like dynamic workouts and stuff like that. I love Pilates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's what's so hard for me about yoga. The one thing that my body really needs is that it's so slow. that it, you know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
it's so, you have to be with yourself.
Yeah.
Which is really hard for me.
Okay. Okay. You mentioned that that being with yourself is something that you find hard for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about the act of kind of just sitting there and being with yourself that you find hard?
Well, we would have to get very psychodynamic to answer that question.
Yes.
But as you're not my psychotherapist, I won't take you there
Yeah.
with me. But basically, it just boils down to me having my self-worth lie on doing and achieving and accomplishing. And me just being is not valid or worth anything.
Okay.
So I feel if I'm just being and like in yoga or meditating, it's like I'm wasting my time. You know, if I'm not writing a paper, helping a client, preparing for an exam, you know, whatever. If I'm not being productive and achieving, then I'm wasting my time.
Okay.
And also, I've never been with myself. You know what I mean? It's very hard for me to sit with myself. I have to keep myself busy. So, this is good. This is what I'm used to.
Okay. So it seems just the being with yourself is something that you never really have done before.
Right.
And you've always kind of kept yourself busy, and busy is what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what are, you look back at some of the things that you said about, I kind of asked you what you liked doing as a child, and you mentioned plyometrics, medicine ball, and Pilates.
Well, not Pilates as a kid. The thing is, I never really had a childhood. I was
Okay.
just a tennis player. Tennis was my job 24/7, and that's what I did. You don't enjoy stuff when you're training to be a tennis pro. Like, you just go and play tennis all day, every day, and train for it, and stress out about winning all the time, and have people yell at you to do things better. So you don't have time to enjoy anything really, even
Okay.
birthday parties. Sorry.
Okay.
I didn't swing on a swing set.
Okay. Is that something that you would like to do?
Have a childhood.
Swing on a swing set?
No, I did that once when I was a nanny, and I get nauseous.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. So, what I would kind of like you to do is you talked about some of these structured programs that you've been on, and what are some successes that you've had with those, or regular exercise?
Super successful as a junior tennis player, like with all of them, all of those that people put together for me, or that I put together that I was doing with other people. Because that was kind of my job. You know, when I was a tennis player, that was my job, so I did it. I had to. And when I was employed by other people to put together programs and do programs with them, I loved it and I did it. So it was my job. Now my job is being a graduate student.
Okay.
And it's not being a happy, healthy, well-adjusted, exercising individual.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, what made your programs that you ran and you also implemented